Good morning, everyone. I am the Reverend William Levwood, affectionately known as Rev Lev. My pronouns are he and him, and I have the great privilege of being the minister here at Accotink Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm so excited that you decided to join us this morning. And whether you're joining us in person or online, let's start the service by centering ourselves for worship, taking a deep breath together. We do have a craft this morning on the theme of the service that you, if you haven't picked up now, you can pick up during the Greet Your Neighbor time. But don't start it until we get to it and tell you what it's all about and how to do it.
And I'll say good morning as well. I'm Paulette Lickman-Panzer, and my pronouns are she and her, and I'm happy to be your worship associate for today. This congregation is a welcoming and inclusive spiritual home where we inspire each other to live our values. Together, we care in community, grow in spirit, and act for justice. But if you're new to Accotink and would like to talk more about the church, look around. Anyone with a cross-stitch name tag like mine is a member and would be happy to share with you about this congregation and how you might like to join us on this journey. Of course, our minister, Rev Lev, would also be more than happy to speak with you. But whether you're a longtime member or a newcomer or something in between, we encourage everyone to stay for our social hour immediately after the service. We're glad that you joined us today.
So, I just noticed this Wonder Box. Does anybody want to help me find out what's in here? Yeah, come on up. Here, come on up. Open it up. Come on. Yeah. Jam jars. We got raspberry. What do you got there? What? Blackberry? Strawberry? We're missing one. Blueberry. So, why jam jars? Any idea? Anybody? Any idea? Yeah, why jam jars? It's berry communion, but we got berries already. Why jam jars? It lasts longer. That's right. So today we're going to talk about how not only thank you, Myrtil. That is perfect. That is perfect. Thank you. Myrtil, you might want to be a Unitarian Universalist minister someday. Sorry, Morgan. So we're going to talk about how we need to store up energy. We need to store up hope. We need to store up love. We need to store up a lot of stuff for the winter. And I don't just mean the literal winter, but I also mean the winter that even is here right now as we start the summer. So that's why we have the jam jars here today. And does anybody notice what else we've got here? What do you see right here? What do we got? Huggies, diapers, yeah, baby formula, and tampons. This is what we're collecting for our Food Justice DMV for immigrants who need these, and they've asked specifically for these supplies. So what I would like us to do is on every first Sunday, we make it a point to bring in these donations. And we try to fill this part of the sanctuary right at the front, like full to the brim with those supplies. So that's a challenge for July and August and September and so on and so forth. So that's one way that we live our values. Oh, speaking of our values, I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and say our chalice lighting words. This morning, these are an abbreviated version of all the values. We have been doing the full version of each one. That was a little laborious, wasn't it? Yes. Yeah, so we're done with that. It was a good exercise. I know you all memorized the long version, but now, since you've memorized it, we're just going to use short version. So please say these words with me. They'll be on 2 slides. Love is at the center of Unitarian Universalism. Love is the practice of our living tradition. As Unitarian Universalists, we covenant to help everyone flourish, honor the web of life, be beloved community, cultivate generosity, celebrate diversity, and transform the world with love. Amen.
My name is Olivia Tuggle. I use the pronoun she, her, and I am your Director of Spiritual Development just for today. Today, Rev Lev will be reading a story called Blueberries for Sal, written and illustrated by Robert McCloskey, about 2 families gathering berries to store up for the hard times to come. We may have a lot of hard times, like a lot of hard times ahead of us. So what we need to store up on. For our craftivity today, for the children, the youth, and actually a lot of adults might enjoy this craftivity also. We're asked to write or draw a blessing for the hard times to come. A blessing is a way to wish something, to pray that good things will happen to somebody. We all have the power to bless others. We can all call upon the Spirit of life to wish happiness and ease upon each other and wish each other well. If you'd like, since today is our berry communion, you can also draw pictures of the various different ways berries can be used. There is a berry-colored paper in the little packets, and suggested blessings, if you can't think of anything, in each bag. You're also free to create your own. We have clipboards for the younger children, and if we run out of clipboards, then the adults can use the hymnals, because we don't want the children using the hymnals, because you might draw on it by accident. We don't care about the clipboards, but the hymnals we need to keep. Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Before I start the story called Blueberries for Sal by Robert McCloskey, do any of you remember finding your thrill on Blueberry Hill with Fats Domino? Because I'm old enough to know that song. And this story is set on Blueberry Hill. One day, little Sal went with her mother to Blueberry Hill to pick blueberries. Little Sal brought along her small tin pail, and her mother brought her large tin pail to put berries in. "We will take our berries home and can them," said her mother. "Then we will have food for the winter." Little Sal picked 3 berries and dropped them in her little pail. Kaplink, kaplank, kaplunk. She picked 3 more berries and ate them. Then she picked more berries and dropped 1 in the pail. Kaplunk. And the rest she ate. Then little Sal ate all 4 blueberries. Her mother walked slowly through the bushes, picking blueberries as she went and put them in her pail. As she did that, little Sal struggled along behind, picking blueberries and eating every single one. Little Sal hurried ahead and dropped a blueberry in her mother's pail. It didn't sound kaplink because the bottom of the pail was already covered with blueberries. She reached down inside to get her berry back. Though she really didn't mean to, she pulled out a large handful because there were so many blueberries right up close to the one she had put in. Her mother stopped picking and said, "Now, Sal, you run along and pick your blueberries. Mother wants to take her berries home and can them for next winter." Her mother went back to her picking. But little Sal, because her feet were tired of standing and walking, sat down in the middle of a large clump of bushes and ate blueberries. On the other side of Blueberry Hill, Little Bear came with his mother to eat blueberries. "Little Bear," she said, "eat lots of berries and grow big and fat. We must store up food for the long, cold winter." Little Bear followed behind his mother as she walked slowly through the bushes eating berries. Little Bear stopped now and then to eat berries, but then he had to hustle along to catch up with her. Because his feet were tired of hustling, he picked out a large clump of bushes and sat right down in the middle and ate blueberries. Over on the other side of the hill, little Sal ate all the berries she could reach from where she was sitting. Then she started out to find her mother. She heard a noise from around a rock and thought, "That's my mother walking along." But it was a mother crow and her children, and they stopped eating blueberries and flew away, saying, "Caw, caw, caw." Then she heard another noise in the bushes and thought, "Well, that surely is my mother, and I will go and get her." But it wasn't her mother, it was Little Bear's mother instead. She was tramping along, eating berries, and thinking about storing up food for the winter. Little Sal tramped right along behind. By this time, Little Bear had eaten all the berries he could reach without moving from his clump of bushes. Then he hustled off to catch up with his mother. He hunted and hunted, but his mother was nowhere to be found. He heard a noise from over a stump and thought, "Well, that's my mother walking along." But it was a mother partridge and her children. They stopped eating berries and hurried away. Then he heard a noise in the bushes and thought, "Well, that is surely my mother. I will hustle along." But it was little Sal's mother instead. She was walking along, picking berries and thinking about canning them for the next winter. Little Bear just hustled right along behind. Little Bear and Little Sal's mother and Little Sal and Little Bear's mother were all mixed up with each other among the blueberries on Blueberry Hill. Little Bear's mother heard Sal walking behind and thought it was Little Bear, and she said, "Little Bear, munch, 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 eat all you can possibly hold and swallow." Little Sal didn't say anything. She picked up 3 berries and dropped them, kaplink, kaplunk, kaplunk, in her small tin pail. Little Bear's mother turned around to see what on earth could be making a noise like kaplunk. "Grumph," she said, choking on a mouthful of berries. "This is not my child. Where is Little Bear?" She took one good look and backed away because she was old enough to be shy of people, even a little small person like Little Sal. Then she turned around and walked off very fast to hunt for Little Bear. Little Sal's mother heard Little Bear tramping along behind and, of course, thought it was Little Sal. She kept right on picking and thinking about canning berries for next winter. Little Bear padded up and peeked into her pail. Of course, he only wanted to taste a few of what was inside. But there were so many, and they were so close together. And so he tasted a tremendous mouthful by mistake. "Now, Sal," said little Sal's mother, without turning around, "you run along and you pick your own berries. Mother wants to can these for next winter." Little Bear tasted another tremendous mouthful and almost spilled the entire pail of blueberries. Little Sal's mother turned around and gasped, "My goodness, you're not little Sal. Where, oh, where is my child?" Little Bear just sat munching and swallowing and licking his lips. Little Sal's mother slowly backed away because she was old enough to be shy of bears, even little small bears like Little Bear. Then she turned and walked away, quickly looking for little Sal. She hadn't gone very far. She heard a kaplink, kaplank, kaplump. She knew just who made that kind of noise. Little Bear's mother had not hunted very long before she heard a hustling, and that stopped now and then to munch and swallow. She knew just who made that kind of noise. Little Bear and his mother went home down one side of Blueberry Hill, eating blueberries all the way and full of food to store up for the coming winter. And little Sal and her mother went down the other side of Blueberry Hill, picking berries all the way, and drove home with food to can for the winter, a whole pail of blueberries and 3 more besides.
Berries are amazing. They're these gifts freely given by nature. And that's why we're celebrating the coming of summer by celebrating the different berries that all come ripe at different times throughout the summer. And in our story, Sal puts more berries in her belly than in her bucket. Little Bear puts the berries in her belly, and also the birds are enjoying the berries. Nature gives us berries as gifts freely given. But that's not the only thing that we receive, often for no reason, nothing that we've done to earn it. We also receive the wildness of the world and of other humans. We receive love, especially when we're young, like little Sal, and we're dependent on it for our very survival. We receive care. We're embraced. We're gathered up by community. A couple Sundays ago, I shared from the essay by Ursula K. Le Guin, A Carrier Bag Theory of Fiction. I shared the importance of carrier bags. She points out that otherwise you'd have to go out in the rain to get your food if you didn't have something to carry it back and someplace to store it. And she also points out that among hunter-gatherers, 85% of their sustenance came from gathering, underlying the importance of the bucket, underlying the importance of the carrier bag for collecting, for carrying, and then for storing. And we're not so different. Just like the mother bear and the mother are not so different in their cautiousness around the other species, even if it's a little small one of the other species, we're not so much different than bears, because bears are also storing up for winter. They just do it by eating the berries. And we do it by making pies, by canning, by making jam, storing up sunshine, berry sunshine for the winter. I neglected to point out when we put the jars up here, when Mortiel put the jars up here, that there is a bear on each of the jars. We're not so different than the bears. We store up this sunshine for the winter, but it's also a metaphor. So I ask you to think to yourself, what is the sunshine for us to store up for this winter that we find ourselves in? What sunshine has already been stored up that is there to guide and sustain us? And I noticed as we were singing our hymn that I've always heard that gather in peace, right? As we gather together in peace. We gather together and express thanks. But when I was singing it this morning, I heard gather in peace. Gather in thanks. Collect it. Gather in sympathy. Gather in the hope. Gather in compassion. Gather in strength. So that we might celebrate once again. And I also want to say these values are how we make berries into jam. Or maybe I would say it's the values that are the container. These values are our collective covenant. And to can something, you need to heat it up, right? You need to boil it down. I would say that community brings the heat, both in the most positive sense and in the challenging ways, to goad us into growing. And we funnel that learning, we funnel that energy, we funnel the gift of community into the container of covenant so that we might express care, love, transformation, justice, interdependence, and generosity. Maybe so. May we be among those who make it so.
Good morning. I'm Kate McDivitt, a member of your Accotink Board of Directors. I am genderqueer, so I do not have pronouns for myself. One thing that I love about Accotink is our annual Pride Picnic. I hope you were able to join us last week. If not, we'll have another next year. And I really appreciate being able to put all of the awful that is in the world right now on hold for an afternoon and just celebrate joy and rainbows with y'all. And a special thank you to everyone who helped us set up and clean up. So thank you very much. Right. Unitarian Universalist congregations thrive on the generosity, as mentioned, of members and friends. We also exist in an interdependent community and are joyful to share with our neighbors. This month, we share our offering with A Farm Less Ordinary. A Farm Less Ordinary provides employment and a welcoming community to people with developmental and intellectual disabilities. The farm operates 2 locations in Loudoun County and grows organic produce for the Metro DC area. You may give online using the donate button on the website or by mailed check with outreach in the memo line. Will the ushers please come forward with the baskets?
Robin Wall Kimmerer points out that in Potawatomi, the word for berry, used for blueberry, strawberry, raspberry, but also for apple, corn, and wild rice, is also the root word for gift. Gratitude is so much more than a polite thank you. It's the thread that connects us in a deep relationship, simultaneously physical and spiritual, as our bodies are fed and spirits nourished by the sense of belonging, which is the most vital of foods. Gratitude creates a sense of abundance, the knowing that you have what you need. In that climate of sufficiency, Our hunger for more abates, and then we take only what we need. If our first response is gratitude, then our second response is reciprocity, to give a gift in return. Gratitude and reciprocity are the currency of the gift economy, and they have the remarkable property of multiplying with every exchange, their energy concentrated as they pass from hand to hand, a truly renewable resource. I accept the gift from the bush and then spread that gift with a dish of berries to my neighbor, who make a pie to share with their friend, who feels so wealthy in food and friendship that he volunteers at the food pantry. You know how it goes. Sharing engenders relationships of goodwill and bonds that ensure you will be invited to the feast when your neighbor is fortunate. Security is ensured by nurturing the bonds of reciprocity. Thriving is possible only if you have nurtured strong bonds with your community. All flourishing is mutual. To replenish the possibility of mutual flourishing for birds and berries and people, we need an economy that shares the gifts of the earth, following the lead of our oldest teachers, the plants.
In just a moment, I'm going to invite you to come forward to gather some berries, arrayed here on this table in a banquet of blueberry blues and rosy reds and purpley blacks, to come up and take these back to your seat and hold on to them so that we can partake of this gift together, this gift freely given. Abundance. And by the way, these berries can go with the cake after. We can take them back and you can have more berries with your cake. Right now, though, I want you to rise in body or in spirit. Notice the color, notice the texture of the berries, and take one of those berries. Contemplate the sunshine, the rainwater, maybe the human watering, the soil that brought this berry into being. Contemplate the human labor that brought these berries into our hands. Some of these are not local berries because locally they haven't come ripe yet. So they traveled here to us. And then, in a moment, as you eat slowly with attention to the texture and the taste. You might even smell it right now. And as you eat, with gratitude, give birth within you to generosity. You may eat now. Yeah, now for the fun part. Come up here, Olivia, we need you on the mic so the people online can hear you.
Oh, yes, okay.
This is so fun, I'm so excited.
This is not going to be fun if we don't all participate. So don't be a party pooper. Take a piece of paper if you didn't know how to do it, and just sign your name on it.
Okay.
Yes. So take one if you don't already have one. You clearly follow directions.
Olivia, what are we gonna do though? What are we gonna do with them? I wait with bated breath. Hi, what am I doing? I'm perched. I'm perched on the top of Mount Readiness, laughing madly in the face of something I can't remember.
The unexpected.
In the face of the unexpected.
Ooh, this could be a little bit unexpected.
All right.
All
What
right.
are we going to do?
Well, before we do our fun part,
What?
oh yeah, you should
Okay.
decide. Do you have a pen?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. All right. Does anyone want to share what they wrote on their blessings? Anything? No? Yes, go ahead.
May we have record voting turnout.
May we have, I'm going to repeat that for those online. May we have record voting turnout.
Voting turnout. Anyone else?
Anybody
Anyone
else?
have paper?
Just shout them out and I'll repeat the
Shout it
short.
out. Oh, we have, I wish you well. Oh, I quoted the Dalai Lama, compassion is the radicalism of our time. So, does everyone mostly sign? Oh, go ahead, yes.
May we think of earth as heaven.
May we think of earth as heaven.
Ah, so
May your day be glorious.
that's a good one, I like that one.
I wish you a day of beauty.
I wish you a day of beauty.
All right, so the fun part. We're all going to take our blessings and crumple it up. Ooh, I like that sound. Little ASMR.
It's our own kerplunk.
Kerplunk.
Crackle, crackle.
And on the count of 3, when I say 3, not 3 and then go, we're all going to throw our paper in the air. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo! Okay, now everybody find a crumpled paper anywhere nearby. Just grab one that hasn't been picked up already. Everybody got one? I have one. Somebody didn't get one. Everyone should have one.
Somebody still needs one? Maybe she needs one.
Oh, you need one? Oh, we have an extra. I get 2 blessings. All right, now we're going to open our blessings. Oh, I got mine all colored. It's so pretty. Look at that. We're going to keep it. You can take your blessing. Oh, go ahead and read your blessings
To yourself.
to yourselves. If you need help, you can ask an adult. And then you can take your blessings home. You can keep it with you in case of hard times. Or you can share them with others if you feel like somebody might need a blessing. It's a good idea.
Nice.
I would cut up all these different ones and just put it in a box and just pick one up randomly whenever you need it. Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
As we extinguish our chalice, I invite you to join me now in our community blessing, inspired by the words of David Bumbao. This church is dedicated to the proposition that there is a unity beneath all our diversity, that we grow together by celebrating our differences, honoring a journey that reaches beyond time, death, and the space between the stars. We pause now to witness to this, our shared covenant. Now that we have gathered together in this welcoming and inclusive spiritual home, let us go out into the world, nourished, rejuvenated, and inspired to share our values. Have some cake.